Social norms are sets of rules or expectations for acceptable behavior. They may change or be modified to fit a given environment or situation. Examples of social norms include greeting someone by shaking his or her hand, facing the doors in an elevator, and facing forward in grocery store checkout lines. Lindsay and I broke this last social norm by facing backwards in checkout lines. We spent an afternoon in Walmart, Giant Eagle, and Starbucks deviating from the norm and filming people's reactions. With one or two items in hand, we entered the checkout line and turned around so that we were facing the shoppers behind us. We hypothesized that subjects of our experiment would feel uncomfortable, avoid eye contact, fidget, or find something to do while waiting. We agreed that, as the deviants, we would feel just as, if not more uncomfortable than the experiment participants. As we began breaking the social norm, we realized it was extremely awkward and uncomfortable to be the deviant. It was difficult to act natural in such an unnatural situation. The reactions we received from others varied, but they all displayed some degree of confusion. Several males indicated they thought there was something wrong with us. Two of them even admitted to wondering if we were okay. A few shoppers simply avoided eye contact, either by looking at candy on the shelves or scrolling through their phones. Two females made eye contact with us and even offered smiles. One woman told us that she guessed I simply disliked the customer in line in front of me. A few others indicated they were curious about why we were standing backwards. Completing this experiment was definitely uncomfortable and unnatural for both us, the deviants, and our participants, but we were successful in producing observable reactions from them.
As you saw in the experiment, people expressed confusion and awkwardness due to our unusual behavior. Jaime and I broke a social norm and stepped out from conformity. The normal thing to do in the checkout line is to face forward. But why? Just because everyone else does it? We do it because we don't want to feel awkward or different than anyone else. The desire to feel comfortable and behave like everyone else is called the normative social influence. We want to feel accepted and approved by others, so we participate in what everyone else does. But when Jaime and I did the opposite of normal in the line, people noticed and responded accordingly. Going into the experiment, both of us predicted that standing backwards was going to feel weird for us and for the other people in line. Both of us found ourselves slowly moving forward because it became a habit for us over time. We also thought that either people would try to make conversation with us or look away or at their phone to help them feel less awkward. Some people tried to figure out why we were standing backwards when we should be standing forward like everyone else. One woman came up with this idea that Jaime was trying to avoid the person in front of her. This individual portrayed what is known as attribution theory. This theory explains that people tend to try to create a reason and explain why someone is doing something unusual. For example, if someone has a public angry outburst, people around will try to explain why the person is angry. Like maybe the person just had a bad day or has a bad temper. Other people use this theory to come up with ideas like maybe something was wrong with her, as one person said. One man was so worried about our mental state that he told us afterwards that, quote, if she stood backwards any longer, I was going to ask her if everything was okay with her and offer to help, because Jaime seemed, quote, out of it. The impact of social norms is something we don't directly see every day, but when someone breaks one, we as humans notice immediately. Some people even went as far as questioning our mental health, just for standing the other way in line.
To conclude, we learned that even breaking a simple social norm was still a big deal to other people. Research says breaking any type of social norm has negative consequences. Consequences include being judged, shunned, avoided, or being treated like an outsider. We definitely saw some of these consequences in our experiment when people tried to avoid or ignore us. So we learned social norms have a big impact on everyone and how people function in society.